Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I haven't even checked how long it's been since I posted a video because I don't want to make myself feel stressed out because I want this baby to come out. Today is my due date. I'm filming this on May 13th. I know that you won't care and you'll tell me to just shut up and focus on baby and on relaxing, but I just feel bad because in my last sort of day in the life video at the end I said, oh, I think I can do these quite regularly, and I plan to do them a few times a week maybe, and then I had just some of the worst, most stressful weeks of my entire life. I have to give myself a pat on the back, and Alex a massive double pat on the back for how well I think we've actually managed. If this had happened several years ago, it would have been entirely different, like when me and Alex were both in a very different place mentally. I'm proud of how we've coped, even though, you know, some days you just don't cope, some days it's just not a good day, and that's okay. But I'm not feeling like that today, which is good. Things are better, but there was a period of time, like, it feels like it's sort of calmed down now, but there was a period of time, I swear, where in the same day we would get some good news and then some bad news. And I wrote in an Instagram caption one day, I was like, oh, things are calming down now, things feel a bit better, so I think I'm going to film a video today. And then within an hour of posting that Instagram post, I'd edited it and taken that bit out because we had some more bad news come along. And even when good stuff happened, I found it really hard to believe it and to let myself feel happy and to let myself be relieved at all, because I was just waiting for something to come along and then ruin that or undo that. We've been fighting a lot of stress since the very beginning of the year. Alex was made redundant at the end of January, just a couple of weeks after me and his mum were in a pretty bad car accident. We were kind of hopeful he would find a new job pretty quick, but then coronavirus and the lockdown came along. I have a lot of pressure to earn money right now, and I'm kind of stressed out about it, and I don't want to just think, oh, I've got, you know, my Patreon and my patrons are there. I absolutely love you to bits, my patrons, and appreciate you so much, but I don't want to rely on you. I hope you understand what I mean. I've been really enjoying making jewellery, so that's good. I've managed to pay the bills with my jewellery making, but, you know, now I'm just ready to slow that down and not have things on my mind, like orders I've got to post and emails I've got to reply to. So I closed down the store, cleared away my work desk, and I'm trying to relax. So I've never spoken to you about my birth plans, and I didn't plan to, but I will, just because it comes into all of what's been going on. I only didn't plan to because I wanted to just focus and talk to people closest to me, people that are going to be there, and don't take this the wrong way, but I didn't want lots of people giving me their opinion on it, and if I, you know, put it out there, then I felt like I couldn't not expect that. Does that make sense? I was just worried because it was really important to me it still is, to build like my mind up mentally for labour and birth, and not necessarily this one specific scenario, but just to know what I want and be confident, and especially being first time mum, I was just a bit nervous of being overwhelmed by potentially hundreds of people, you know, telling me different things. Anyway, that's why I didn't plan to talk about it, but not because it's, you know, a secret. I, from the beginning, have been planning a home water birth. I got a phone call, which I kind of knew was coming. I'd been anticipating it because I'd heard from lots of other women this was going on. I got a phone call to say that our home birth service had been suspended due to the lockdown, and just consolidating their resources and wanting to make sure that they had the right amount of staff and ambulances and things. And that same day, Alex's dad was hospitalised. Not a good day. I'll talk about the home birth situation a little bit first, and then talk about Alex's dad, even though I know that is the much more pressing, important thing. Even though I could completely understand the reasons for cancelling the service, I still was heartbroken. I chose to stay at home for lots of reasons, and you know, I didn't have very long to go, and suddenly the plans were just, and I know that you can't have like a solid plan for birth, and I never have. My birth plan covers every eventuality. It covers home birth up to cesarean and like everything. I have my preferences in there, so I know that. But it was just the chance to try for a home birth being not there anymore. This was a big struggle for me mentally, and it became an even bigger struggle, and I'll explain why. So Alex's dad, bless him, I'm not going to go super into it because obviously this is his personal health stuff, but Alex's dad has a few health problems, and he was in hospital for a sort of routine treatment for one of these, and while he was in there they said, oh, we're not quite happy about this other thing, we're going to keep you in because we're a bit worried about it. So he grabbed enough stuff for one night. We thought he was going to be in there for one day. Then we got news that was really worrying. Then we got news after maybe a week that actually they didn't think that was the case. And then just as that was resolving and it was feeling like more hopeful, he caught coronavirus in the hospital. And him being a high risk patient, I have no doubt they were doing everything they could to protect him from that, but it still happened. And I know it's been a massive issue with people not going to get help for their other health conditions, and then things getting worse and people dying because they're not going to A&E maybe to get help because they're scared of the virus. So I really don't want to add to that, but this is what happened. After that happened, then I sort of lost my mind a little bit, because on the one hand, obviously I'm extremely anxious about my father-in-law and we can't visit him, and it was just a horrible, heart-wrenching situation. And then also I felt like my ability to be comforted by any of the extra cleaning measures or the PPE or like anything, my ability to feel comforted by that was gone because what happened to my father-in-law. And I felt like I had no safe place to give birth, and I was crying about it and trying to hide it from Alex because I you know, his dad, I needed to be strong for him and he knew he needed to be strong for me, so I think we were both just trying our best. And I spoke to the hospital about it and the midwives, and they were really reassuring, and it was nothing to do with them. I know the hospital was lovely, the staff were great, I know it would be a lovely experience, and that wasn't the issue. I felt all the sort of agoraphobic stuff coming back to my brain. I don't know if you've watched me for a really long time, but if you have, you might remember it's like my early 20s, I think. For a few years in particular, it was very bad. I had trouble going out the house. I felt all those feelings coming back. I'm sorry, I don't want to like be all mopey and stuff. I know people are having it much worse than us right now. At least we have the light of a little baby on the way, so I know I am very grateful still. But mentally it was just a really bad time. I can't pause and postpone and reschedule having this baby, so I had to come to terms with this some way or another. I was hopeful that the home births would be reinstated, but I had no idea. I couldn't assume they would be. Even if they were reinstated, I couldn't assume I would have a home birth. People plan home births all the time and then for all different reasons end up going to hospital. So I had to get my head around going to hospital. When I went to see my midwife, I broke down crying at her, and she said, don't worry, that you're not the only one. Also, just a little side note about going to see midwives. They obviously are wearing masks and things at the minute. I thought that wouldn't have any impact on me, and obviously I want them to be safe and they're doing it to keep us safe, so I'm not like complaining at all. But it was actually quite strange. I didn't realise how much I sort of used people's facial expressions for reassurance, and especially if I'm anxious. Alex had come to all my appointments with me before lockdown, but now you're only allowed one person, which is fine, I understand. Being nervous already because I'm out the house on my own, and then not being able to see the person's face and their expression. It was quite, I don't know the word to describe it. just a bit odd, I guess, in like a primal part of my brain that's looking for reassurance from like a smile and stuff. They're still lovely, lovely people, and you know, like I said, not complaining. I want them to be safe. It's just something else that's different. To cut a very long emotional roller coaster short, I had to have faith, and I couldn't let that, you know, completely turn upside down like my birth experience. Alex's dad, bless him, he's a complete rock star. He was supposed to be in hospital for 1 day. He was in there a month. He came home recently. It was not a fun time for him, being on his own, and the whole family obviously has been so on edge and just really wanting to be able to be there for him and for each other. Alex's mum was on her own the whole time, and we can FaceTime, but it's still not exactly the same. I'm grateful we can FaceTime, but you know, it'd be great to be able to be there. But he's home now. He's recovering at home. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm getting emotional. Despite my crying, that is good news. He's doing good. He's home. It's good news. I'm just emotional and very pregnant. And more good news was that our home birth service was reinstated, and I cried on the phone when they told me it was cancelled, and then I cried again on the phone when they told me it was back. Like I said, I'm still not in my head like, woohoo, that means home birth, because even coronavirus aside and staff shortages aside, sometimes people end up going to hospital, and that's fine. But it's having the chance to try for what I had hoped for. I'm just so grateful. But at the same time, I feel kind of bad even talking about it, because I know there are other places where women aren't having the chance to try for the birth that they wanted. I do believe there are ways you can work around it and you can still make it a positive experience. I was already feeling much better before they reinstated the home births, because I'd just really focused on the hospital plan even more. Planned lots of ways that I could recreate my sort of home environment in hospital, and read things from other people that had given birth there recently and that had really good experiences. I absolutely think there's ways that no matter what happens, you can still make it a positive experience. I think it all comes down to like being sort of personalised experience. I do think no matter the situation, you can adapt and you can do it. But I also want to just acknowledge, it's so shit. It's shit that there are scenarios where people's birth partners can't be with them. It's shit that I don't know when my family is really going to get to hold and spend time with my baby. I never thought that would be something I would be thinking about. You know, there's all the sort of normal pregnancy and birth and postpartum worries and the things you prepare for. And I've done all that, and I've thought about all that, and now there's just this big dollop of crap on top of it. I've always kind of believed that there's no perfect time to have children. There's definitely times that are worse than others in your life, but I think if that's something that you want in life, eventually you just go for it and you grow and learn with your baby. You're never perfect, but my God, this timing, I mean... I laugh about it because it's just like so insane. Oh, she's booting me. Oh, a little foot. The kicks have started getting like pretty intense now. After I made that last video, the 3rd trimester update, I feel like I entered a whole new trimester, the sort of later weeks of pregnancy, because everything feels so much different. Her head is engaged, she has dropped, and I feel like I need to pee every minute of the day, but I can't actually pee. That's the cruel joke. Belly definitely feels in the way now. There's lots of things that I can't really comfortably do anymore, and if I try, sometimes if I can't be bothered to call Alex and I'm like, no, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bend down and get this thing that I dropped. I try it and then I regret it, and I feel bad for her because I imagine her in there like as I'm bending over and squishing her. Sometimes, you know, I do that and I bend or I try and do something and her foot goes like that, and then I regret it. I'm feeling much less mobile. I have bursts of energy. I went on a walk yesterday just to get some medicine for Tucker. the vets have got a little system where they like leave it outside and stuff. That was a strange experience because I haven't walked that much since she dropped, and the feeling was just so much pressure, and like I really couldn't help but sort of waddle. My battery's about to die, and I haven't talked to you about anything that was on my list of things to talk to you about. I've just been updating you really on stuff that's been going on. Maybe next time I see you I will have had my baby, and I'll probably take a little bit of time to do nothing after that. I hope that you're doing okay. I'm just trying to focus on being calm now, getting the oxytocin flowing. Okay, I better end this because it's flashing at me very angrily. I'm sorry I talked for so long, camera. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your well wishes and lovely messages, and for everything. Okay. Oh my god, gonna have a baby. It's gonna be a whole new world. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye. With the last bit of battery I have, I'm going to do some quick fire Patreon shoutouts. These are my Lord of the Beans patrons over on Patreon. Alexandria Hope Lowe, Danielle Weatherall, Emma Davis, Hannah Robinson and Jenny Thomas, Jessica Baldock and Lauren Erica, Jessa and Kat Neidig, I hope I said your surname right, and Willowy Wings, my newest member of Lord of the Beans. Thank you so much all of you. Gonna have to go. Battery's not happy.